Are you still trying to decide between a condo, townhome, or single family home? I had a client 2 years ago here in Greenville, South Carolina, struggling to decide between a condo, townhome, and a standalone house. They kept waffling back and forth and then asked for some advice. I'm going to dive into the differences between your housing choices and what I told this family of four and the decision that they made. Let's jump right into the number one factor, and that is money. Your budget is usually a big factor when you're looking for a home, and each type of home has different expenses to consider. Let's say you have a budget of $400,000. There aren't many condos available downtown in this price range. In fact, this is the only one that's close by. This 2-bed, 1-bath condo was built in 1976. It's 850 square feet and was recently renovated. It is not a standout by any means, but it will get you a condo within a few blocks of downtown. The next cheapest condo downtown is $850,000, and it goes up from there with very limited supply. Outside of downtown, condos are in limited supply in this price range and in Greenville in general. The same $400,000 budget will get you a 2-story townhome just 2 blocks off of downtown. This 1982 build is a 3-bed, 2.5-bath townhome with over 1,500 square feet and a nice location. Going outside of downtown, there are lots of choices in the $400,000 price range, giving you over 250 properties, including lots of new construction and existing townhomes. On the single-family home side, $400,000 is not going to get you into a downtown neighborhood. There are few small homes near downtown on the market right now, but each has challenges that are causing the price to be low. $400,000 will put you into a small home in Greenville with repairs and renovations needed, or if you're willing to look a little further out, a nice home, even up to a 4-bed, 2.5-bath with 2,500 square feet in Powdersville right now. When it comes to budgeting, remember you're going to have a monthly condo fee or an HOA fee on top of the sales price. HOA fees aren't as extreme in most neighborhoods and will usually be topping out around $500 a year unless the neighborhood provides something more than normal. Some examples of this being a lawn service or a gated community with security. If you're aiming for a single family home just to avoid the monthly fees, remember that those fees are there to cover things that you'll have to budget for yourself. If you own a home, for example, the roof is usually the largest item here. A good rule of thumb is to budget 1% of your home's value for maintenance and upkeep if you're purchasing a single family home and you won't have the monthly fees built in to cover maintenance. This will allow you to maintain your home and not be living with lots of broken items or have to sell at a steep discount later because of delayed maintenance items. Now, if you're watching for the first time, I'm David Crum, and I want you to know everything there is about living in Greenville and South Carolina. Make sure to subscribe below. And by the way, if you want one of our free guides, just check the description below because that's where all our contact information is. Whether you're moving in 9 or 90 days, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send an email, or schedule a Zoom if you want to talk to me personally, and I would be happy to help you make a smooth move. Now let's get right into factor number 2, and that is location. Often for work, school, family, or other reasons, there are specific areas where you want or need to live. This point alone could be the deciding factor in what type of housing you choose. You could be looking at an area that is offering 1 or 2 types of housing, and one type may not fit the budget. Before you start looking all around a city and wasting your time and energy looking for homes that ultimately can't work out, it is important to discuss what are the must-haves in your location choices. That would be school zones, safety, commutes to work and other places. I recently had a couple that was in love with downtown Greenville, but their family is in Lexington, South Carolina. After discussing how often they wanted to see their family versus how much they love downtown, it made more sense for them to live in Lexington and drive up for special events or time away. If you're considering a few factors in location, make sure you weigh out how often each one will happen and whether it makes sense to live in each area. Lifestyle choices are important, but sometimes driving a little bit more on Friday night makes more sense than a daily 30-minute commute. Speaking of lifestyle, that's our next factor in choosing between a condo, townhome, and single-family home. If you want to just lock your door and know that someone is cleaning the common areas, doing maintenance, taking care of the property, and vacuuming the halls, if you live in a single-family home, you're going to have to spend some of your weekends doing maintenance projects, repairs, and upgrades when you're ready, or you're going to have to farm that out to somebody else. If you live in a townhouse or duplex, you may fall in the middle. Are you handy and like to work around the home? Or do you hate projects and want to leave town every weekend for the mountains, beach, or lake? Thinking about these beforehand can help you start to view the right types of properties earlier in your search. The next thing to consider is how long you're going to live in your home. This will make a big difference if you see changes coming in your household in the horizon. If you're single, a one-bedroom condo near downtown where all the action is may seem perfect. But if you're dating and expect to have your significant other move in, bring their dog and their cat, and have a baby soon after, that condo is looking mighty teeny. What was a trim 750 square feet is now cramped and unlivable. What you need to do here is work backwards from what you're anticipating in the near future. Is your family going to downsize? Do you have 3 kids and are planning for more? Do you want pets that may be an issue? In anticipating the future, I want you to avoid feeling like you bought a home that's way too big or way too small. The average person moves every 7 years in the United States right now, which seems like a lot to me, and I certainly don't think you need to cut that in half by any means. This leads us directly into our next factor, your plans for the property. While this sounds like your plans for the future here, I'm not talking about where you will live as much as what you will do with the home. The couple I mentioned at the beginning of the video wanted an investment that they could live in to start with and then move in a few years. After learning more about their situation, I helped them find a townhome they could live in and then move up to a single family home when their kids have grown a little and need more space. They are aggressively paying off the townhome and will use it as a rental as soon as they move out. If you have the ability to do something similar, you can start a rental portfolio just by renting out your previous homes as you change according to your lifestyle and needs. It's important to consider if this could work for you, as it may affect your first or subsequent purchases as you factor in the long-term use of the home beyond your own occupation as a primary resident. This can be something to consider as you or even your kids change needs. I have known more than one couple to purchase a condo or townhome near the school their child attends, using the rent they would have paid to start paying down the property and then renting it out going forward. This worked amazingly well for a family that sent all 4 of their children to the same school and would rent the extra bedrooms to their friends. You may not know exactly what the future will bring, but planning ahead can help you make a better purchase. This leads directly into our next factor in deciding between a condo, townhome, or single family home. What are your deal breakers? Most people have something about their home that they are unwilling to compromise on when purchasing. This could be living in an HOA where you can't choose your color of paint without approval, or sharing walls with your neighbors. It could be that you have to have some outdoor space so that you rule out a condo. It could be that you're willing to have neighbors below you but not above. It could be that you only want to spend a specific amount and that dictates what's available in different areas of a city or state. You could be completely opposed to paying PMI and need to make a larger down payment to avoid this charge. No matter your deal breakers, they can have an influence on your decision as to what type of home is right for you. Even within each category, there will be some variance that can affect a certain building or complex or neighborhood and if they are right for you. Each HOA can have specific rules and regulations, so it's important to check their covenants and restrictions if you have things planned for your future that you're not sure the association will allow. Even when shopping for single-family homes or land, the deed can have deed restrictions preventing certain types of housing, different sizes, and more. There are 2 more things to consider, and the next to last is the resale value of the property. Assuming this isn't your last home ever, resale should be a consideration in every purchase of this size. Even last homes have a tendency not to make it as long as buyers may think at the time of purchase. Unless your financial situation is such that resale does not matter to you at all, your property purchase should be one that not only fits the needs that we've been discussing, but also helps propel you into your next home in the best way possible. This can include things like ease of resale, how popular is this type of property and the location, potential for increased value, and while no one has a crystal ball, a knowledge of the local area should make it apparent that some places and properties are going up in value faster than others. If more than one property meets your current needs, choosing the best resale potential should be a priority. Our last factor ties in several of the ones we've mentioned so far, and that's the amenities and accessibility of the things that you enjoy nearby. Condos may feature rooftop amenities, common areas, an exercise room, or even access granted to a nearby gym. Any type of home could have property associated with it that features walking trails, water features, playgrounds, mixed use spaces, and more. Nearby amenities should include things that make it positive to live there versus similar property. For example, we back up to a park and it's great to be able to take the smaller kids walking, swinging to the playground. My oldest son plays a lot of pickleball and some disc golf as well, all just outside the back gate and through some wooded space behind our home. While a park is a plus for us, it could be a negative for others. What's important in your purchase is the benefits and negatives to you, not necessarily to others, unless you're thinking about resale. If you've lived in more than one, please leave us a comment and let people know what you love or hate about condos, townhomes, or single-family homes versus each other. That'll help anyone who's considering a place to live make a better decision. And remember, whether you're moving in 9 or 90 days, I would love to hear from you and see how we can make your move to the Palmetto State a smooth one. Until then, I'm David Crum, and I look forward to showing you around my hometown of Greenville and all of my home state of South Carolina.